9/11. I started talking about it. I had come in from the garage. I was working, and the TV was on. Back then, people watched CNN. It was a time when Tucker Carlson wore a bow tie every day and was on Crossfire on CNN with Soledad O'Brien. Anyway, we had CNN on, and I walked into the house. I looked at the television, and the first building had smoke pouring out of it, and I stopped, and I thought, well, that don't look good. And then I saw the second plane hit, and then on the little ticker tape on the bottom of the screen, it said explosion at Pentagon. And a horror gripped me that I can't explain, because the unthinkable had happened, and we didn't know what was happening. We didn't know if there was going to be a wave of troops from China or Russia or what. Nobody knew anything. And I'm looking at the comments section here over on MeWe, the group chat. Bo, he was young. He's only 28, and so he would have been 4 or 5 years old. He says, I was tying my shoes, getting ready to head to daycare with my little brother. I remember everyone crying, and I didn't understand. It's really upsetting to think about, knowing most of the details today. Yeah, not to get too deep into it, I do not believe anything at the government's official story of what happened that day. And Greg, I remember watching CNN because everybody was glued to the TV watching the buildings and everything that happened. And I remember, Greg, it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon when they reported that they had found the passports of the hijackers in the rubble. And right there I was like, what?
Oh, yeah. And they were trained on U.S. soil. I mean, it was an eye-opener. Sadly, everyone went crazy and did
they were, and they never took training to land.
Isn't that incredible? It's modern-day kamikazes, but with just a big old plane, man.
I refuse to believe that could not have been stopped, or that there was not any foreknowledge. And I refuse to believe that the Patriot Act was not written before that. And I refuse to believe that they were not painting Humvees desert ground to go to Iraq before that happened. And if you look at everything that happened during the lockdowns, all of those laws to save us from Ahmed all got swung around on the American people. And so, it is upsetting to me. Matthew says, I was working at an auto parts store in 2001. When the first plane hit, my mom ran in my bedroom and woke me up. We sat there in disbelief watching the second plane hit. Yeah. That was a psychological trauma for a lot of Americans. For the world.
Where were you when JFK was killed, for the older guys and stuff? Where were you in 9/11 for you younger guys? And it'll never be the same, because it's what you were saying. Like, we didn't know what was going to happen. The story wasn't done yet. We were watching it live. And we didn't know what was going to happen. Anything, just the worst things in the world could have happened. What makes me sad, and we've had full episodes on this, Mike, is that we went crazy and took away all of our civil liberties by doing the Patriot Act. Never let a good crisis go to waste. That's what that tragedy was. And I'm not the conspiracy guy and blah, blah, blahs. I'm very conservative. But this was there's just too much. Ooh,
Madeline says, how did they find their passports? I don't believe that. I didn't believe that a passport. I'll tell you what, if passports are that indestructible, then bomb techs should just wear suits made of passports, because apparently they can withstand anything.
And how long did it take to produce that Patriot Act material? I think it's thousands of pages. I don't remember. It was awful. Yeah. I said, I'm telling my friends at the time, this stuff's going to be used against American citizens, right?
We were all saying it, yeah.
This sounds like one of our regular Dueling-Citizens program, but this is indeed supposed to be an optimistic day, which it is. but America is not America without her.
Well, we've got to be honest. We have to be
Exactly.
honest, and
Exactly.
you have to. Chet writes, this is interesting. He says, I drove a mobile incident command post 19 hours from Mobile to Manhattan. I was on the phone with my father when the second plane hit the tower, and I told him, I got to go. We just went to war.
Oh, my God.
Farmer in Michigan says, I was repacking bearings in our shop and heard it on the radio, then went in the house and watched it. Yep.
If people don't think that Americans rise to the occasion, I know so many people, and there are a lot of famous people who simply were called to serve after 9/11. The list goes on.
Pat Tillman gave up.
Absolutely, and beyond. And I mean, there are people that were even civilian. I mean, the Gary Sinise of the world. People don't know Gary Sinise's life changed at 9/11, and he, like me, never served in the military. So he just devoted the rest of his life to military housing, PTSD, disability guys, gives them a free and clear house. Disability guys, lots of other guys I know too. They were called to serve, like our grandfathers.
Lots of them were ripped off. I remember
yeah.
I was looking at joining the U.S. military years ago, and they sent me a whole package of stuff, and they were telling me that they would give me this bonus if I joined. Right, like there was a system of bonuses. It was like 16 grand or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Well, just a few years ago, they went back on everybody and said they owed it back. And they were actually taking houses away from guys because they went back on this bonus that they gave people for enlisting. Cicerone 48 says, great holiday show, guys. Thank you, Cicerone. Like I said, I'm aware of America's problems, but I still love the United States of America. I do. With that, we've got more stuff to get to here. Otherwise, Greg will talk your ear off. And